It's like back in the day, you know, if you were playing a warlock in classic WoW, your rotation, you could do your rotation with the garage door opener. You just shadow bolt, shadow bolt, shadow bolt, shadow bolt, shadow bolt. Done. All right, boss is dead. How'd I do? All right, pretty good. And that's it, because a lot of people played that. The reason why Classic and the reason why Burning Crusade and Wrath, to a lesser extent, are so successful is because they're fucking easy. They are fucking easy. That's it. Because most people that play the game are bad. And the people that are raiding, they have good gear. It feels good to kill Ragnaros and get the Onslaught belt. Onslaught girdle. It feels good. Even though killing Ragnaros is easy, it still feels good. Nobody wants to settle for doing a brain-dead raid difficulty to get mediocre gear. The quality of the game is always going to be based on what do I need to do in order to be a cutting-edge player. And the truth is, a lot of casual players could keep up, and then over time, especially whenever Cataclysm came out, the raiding difficulty has gotten higher and higher and higher. The amount of things that you have to do in the game has gotten higher and higher and higher. And every single time that happens, more people quit the game. That's it. Less and less players? Yes, exactly. And that's why you have less and less players. In vanilla WoW, you would go to the banks of Stormwind and you would get inspected and either kicked out or invited to a group. Based off of a mage raid leader that sees a warrior in leather gear and assumes that you're a fucking idiot. In Burning Crusade, you would get invited or not invited based off of how much health you had because you had a lot of stamina and you had good gear. And guess what happened? You had people full of fucking arena gear, except for you had other people that had min-max tier 4 or tier 5 gear, never got invited. And then in fucking Wrath, of course, we had gear score. Then in Cataclysm, we had item level. And also at that point, we also had achievements, right? It's like, I remember I used to tell people that like getting Kingslayer was like getting a college degree. You could finally join raids. So it has, you were the one checking gear? No, I was actually the one getting gear checked at that point. But like in Classic, yeah. The problem is that the game tells you what to do, and the game used to show you what to do. Like, for example, like in Classic WoW, the game teaches you mechanics 1 or 2 at a time, and those mechanics can have fail states. Like, you can die at level 3. You're realistically never going to die whenever you're leveling in retail WoW. It's not going to happen. So, like, you're just being kind of fed through this conveyor belt where you're not learning anything. You're not processing new information. You're not even needing to use the information. You're just following the little marker on the map until you're at the max level. I raided in WoW. I started raiding in really vanilla, but like I started like seriously raiding in TBC. And the difference in gameplay after, like before and after parses became the culture of the game was night and day. Like back in the day, you would have people that were really good at doing mechanics and they were considered the best players in the guild. And now it's all about who's doing the most damage. And this is like just in general, if you're doing a pug or you're doing something like that. People always cared about damage, but like that wasn't the end all and be all. In the same way that like now, like I haven't played in like the last like year, like super seriously. But whenever I played before then, I'm assuming it's probably about the same now, people are playing for parses more than they're playing to kill the boss. That's kind of one of the other big reasons, is I feel like, for example, I felt like there was a compelling reason for me to want to raid BWL, or a compelling reason for me to want to raid AQ40, because Nax was going to come out. And fuck, there was a compelling reason for me to raid Nax because tier 3 was good in Karazhan. But why would I go and raid, what's the new raid? The fucking Vault of the Incarnates, or no, I think that's the last one, whatever it is, Aberrus. Why would I go and raid Aberrus whenever the next expansion or next patch is going to come out and make Aberrus irrelevant? Why would I waste my time doing that? So that's the main reason why I don't raid. It's because I feel like you're building a castle on sand that erodes every 6 months, so, and there's no lasting progression to it. I also don't raid because I don't find it fun. Didn't you love Classic? I did. But Classic's a completely different dynamic. So for example, in Classic, I never run back to bosses. Do you know why? Because I don't wipe. Because it's Classic. If I had to sit there and wipe on a Classic raid boss and run back every single time, I wouldn't play the fucking game. The only reason I play it is because they're loot piñatas. So whenever BWL came out, how many pieces of your gear did you replace in BWL? Actually, how many pieces of your gear did you keep once you finished BWL and you had BWL Bis? Probably 2 pieces, if you're a warrior, right? You had Onslaught Girdle and you had Band of Acuria. Was there anything else besides that that you would hold on to? Thunder Fury, if you had Thunder Fury. Quick Strike Ring? Yeah. Striker's Mark? Yeah, Striker's Mark as well. Well, what I'm saying is that there's a lot of these things that were not actually kept. And that's really what my point is that I don't think that you should have to keep all of the gear, and having a new raid tier come out, you do replace most of your gear, even in Classic WoW. The game was fun in vanilla, and it didn't have that many buttons. Like, that's it. I don't want to fucking play some piano. The reason why Classic WoW is so good is because all you have to do is you log on, you show up for the raid, you move left, and you collect loot. That's why it's good. I think that MMOs become bad whenever they start being designed for the people that play them 24 hours a day. This is exactly what happened to Lost Ark as well. Lost Ark, the fights were great. You had Volten. Vicus was, way fucking harder. Then you had Belshazzar. 6 gates. Are you fucking kidding me? And then everybody's quitting the game. The vanilla model is superior. Don't need add-ons. Don't need sweats. Everyone can get fulfilled. That is another reason why I thought, larger raid sizes are better, is because you can carry people that suck. Just straight up. I just think that's a better MMO experience. I think that trying to make an MMO hard is a mistake. You should not try to make an MMO hard.
Guys,
do you know what you used to have to do in Wrath? So we get to level 80, and then I do a dungeon. And then it gives me a badge, and I put the badge in the guy, and it gives me a helmet. And then I go, and there's this circle thing, and we go there, and I got more gear there. And then there's the tower. Oh my God, the tower. That's it. That was it. That's all you had to do. It was really simple. You get 80, you get the gear, you do the boss. I think Blizzard is just focused too much on making the current player base happy and not actually attracting a new audience. I think that's what the issue is. Because, if you watch people play retail WoW, unless you play the game, you don't know what's even happening on the screen. The game is so tremendously over-designed and unnecessarily complex that it's not fun to play. Now, that's my personal opinion. Obviously, other people think the game right now is amazing and they love the game. They think the game is great, and I'm happy for them. But I don't feel that way. It's just stressful. There's so much going on. There's so much bloat in the game. What is this? And so we're just going to pause this and look at it. What the fuck is going on? And if you've played the game a lot, you know exactly what the fuck is going on. This is obviously tracking all of the internal cooldowns of all of the different classes. These are their debuffs. This is, I'm assuming, probably an interrupt rotation. This is the spell cast of, I guess, the target that's on their focus. This is the mob here. This is all the debuffs and the buffs as well. These are his spells. Those are damage done and damage done for the different pack. You know what all of this is if you've played the game a lot. But at the end of the day, think about how much different this is versus just what the game looks like without any of this. You go and you look at this, this is just me doing BWL. There's not as much shit going on. This is classic WoW, right? It's pretty simple to understand comparatively. Now, obviously, I have like a big DPS meter up, but there's really not a lot going on comparatively. Now, obviously, if you've never played the game, both of these things look relatively impenetrable. But in my opinion, I would say that the retail WoW is just, with add-ons and everything, it's just too much, man. The problem is that the gameplay sucks. And if the gameplay sucks, then people aren't going to play the game. So people would play classic WoW all the time and do PvP all the time, same as like Burning Crusade. Now, why would people do that? They would do it back then so they could flex on the nubs. You could get really good gear, and this is the same thing like BFA, the end of BFA. Bro, people did PvP all the time. Why? Because they could use their corruption gear and flex on the nubs. And that's what people want to do in an MMO. Like, in my opinion, I think that any MMO that tries to actually have a serious PvP scene is doing itself a disservice. And I think that in the process of that, it does the serious PvPers in the community a disservice. Because the best thing for people in a big community, the best thing for people that want to be professional players or anything like that, the best thing for them is to have a large audience. And the fact is that nobody's going to give a fuck about PvP if it's hyper balanced, because anybody that wants to care about that is already playing another PvP game that is even better balanced than whatever an MMO PvP could possibly ever have.